Okay, so Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and hi. So today we will learn the topic enzyme. Okay, first of all, we need to know the metabolism. So metabolism refers to all chemical reactions that occur in a living organism. So here there are two types of metabolism, the catabolism and anabolism. For the catabolism, C we can indicate as cut. So it cut or it breaks down the complex substance into simpler substance. Okay, for example here, the complex substrate A, it broke down into B and C, the product, into simpler substance and it releases energy. For example, is the breakdown of glucose during cellular respiration. The second example is anabolism, A for add together. So it add together the two substrates into a complex substance or the product and it use or absorb energy. For example, is the formation of glucose during photosynthesis. Next is the enzyme is an organic catalyst that is mostly made up of proteins and is produced by living organisms. The important keywords here are substrate, active site and enzyme substrate complex. Substrate are substances needed for enzyme reaction. So here is the substrate, the green one. Active site is a specific site where substrate can bind with enzyme. So here is the active site. An enzyme substrate complex is the combination of enzyme and substrate. So when it combines together, the substrate and enzyme, it will become enzyme substrate complex. An enzyme helps speed up biochemical reaction. So next, the enzyme nomenclature. The IUPMB introduced the enzyme nomenclature based on substrate or reaction it catalyzed. The name of enzyme derived by adding is to the name of substrate it catalyzed. For example, is enzyme protease from protein or lactose from lactase. The lactase is the enzyme and lactose is the substrate that it catalyzes. And there are also few enzymes that do not follow this naming because it discovered before systematic naming. For example, is trypsin and also pepsin. And we'll go to the general characteristic of enzyme. It acts rapidly and speed up biochemical reaction. Required is small quantities and reversible. And most of reactions catalyzed by enzyme are reversible. It speeds up biochemical reaction by, for example, we need a lot of energy to make that reaction to happen. But by the addition of enzyme, it helps to reduce the amount of energy needed for the reaction to occur. Okay, next characteristic is some need cofactor to work more efficiently. Okay, the cofactor will bind with the enzyme. Okay, and it helps the substrate to bind to the enzyme. Next is example is vitamin D and magnesium ion. Reaction of enzyme are specific. The active site have specific shape which the substrate that have the same shape is the one that can bind to it. And the other characteristic is can be slowed down or stopped by enzyme inhibitor, for example, okay, the first part of inhibitor it bind at the other part of the enzyme, so the active site actually have fit with substrate will change its shape. So substrate cannot bind to it. And the next is cofactor bind at the active site, so it competes with the substrate. So when it binds, substrate cannot bind to it. And lastly, the structure of enzyme remain unchanged and not destroyed. So this is the structure of enzyme at the beginning, and after it has produced the product, it still have the same shape with the initial one. Okay, so that is what in the part 1 of enzyme and we will continue it later. Okay, thank you.